First thing, I'm going to kind of start with a little introduction. Most of you might know me or know of me, but my name is Michelle Fisher. I'm a senior gold ambassador. I've actually been with Plexus for, it's almost 3 years, actually 3 years in June. Mom of four, and for the last 16 years, I've actually been teaching riding lessons and running my own lesson program with what I have right now, 9 horses, and I have a lot on my plate. So that said, one of the things I like to tell everybody is literally like Plexus, anybody can do it. So my goal, or our goal here tonight, is to help you have a better understanding of like the incredible, amazing compensation plan that we have with Plexus. So I often hear people say that it might be a little confusing, overwhelming. And the reality, like for me, was that I understood it the best when I saw it happening. So yeah, as I saw it really just starting to take off and the way things started to progress and whatever, that's when it made no sense. And I hear a lot of people say that themselves too. So there was a point just like after, I think it was a few months after I started, Melissa had done a 30-day challenge. And I refer to this all the time because seriously, I learned so much from that 30-day challenge. It was insane. She literally gave us a challenge every day out of the month. And I mean, I think I got half of them done, but more importantly is I got half of them done. And I learned so much from those half. And I think I signed up in June, and that might've been August or September. So I wasn't in it for very long. So anyway, after I became an ambassador, we did that challenge, and sorry, I'm looking for where I am. First of all, if you're not familiar with where in the back office that the compensation plan is, I'm going to show you that. Hopefully I don't forget to do that before I flip to my PowerPoint. But if I do, just make sure someone asks me or reminds me before we close out. If you don't know where it is and you need to find it, or you need help finding it. So there's 2 documents in the back office that explain. One is the chart that's in there, and then there's another one that's more or less just a Word document. And actually my PowerPoint that I'm going to use, I pretty much took pieces of that and just used it to break it down a little simpler so that it was a little easier to understand. I found I understood the color-coded chart. Some of you may have seen that, and I don't have that one in the PowerPoint, but there was a color-coded one with numbers that seemed to just help me and made sense. So I pretty much think when I did the 30-day challenge, I had to sit down with the color-coded chart and with the word chart and really like go from one to the other and see how it works out together. So that said, just want to make sure I didn't forget something. Yeah, not really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over here to my PowerPoint and see. So bear with me because I'm still figuring all this out. Oops. Luckily, I had a trial run last night, but all right. And hopefully it works as well as it did last night for Christina and I. So I'm going to share screen. All right, so you can see there's my PowerPoint desktop. Is that going to work? No, I need to do that right there. Okay, wonderful. So like I was saying, as I saw it happening, that was when I learned so the most. As I was a silver ambassador, you know, like the things you seem to learn from silver up to silver is the 25 and 15% commission you get on your retail rewards commissions, and then also maybe even a little bit about the ambassador points and things like that. But before I get too far, I'm just going to read these points because they're all really good. And again, this is all basically copied exactly word for word from the back office. Plexus, our compensation plan is easy to understand it's easy to understand how to increase your income, offers diversified profit opportunities, and pays 50% of the company's commissionable volume every month, which that's really big. Rewards you for building a solid base of loyal customers, gives you additional incentives for assuming a leadership role. Again, those get, of course, when you get a lot higher in the compensation plan. But like I said in the beginning, seriously, like this, it's a real opportunity. And I often look at the people who do this and have gotten to the top, and I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. And I kind of wrote this in my notes and I skipped it, but I was gonna say this, that I know this is all about compensation plan, but I'm gonna tell you, and I want to tell you that how much affirmation and words of affirmation and what you tell yourself and what you believe really becomes you. So if you take anything away that's not compensation plan related, take that away from this tonight. Back to the compensation plan. But pays out both weekly and monthly. So you'll often hear it said that we get paid 5 times a month. We get that one paycheck on the 15th, and then we also get paid every week based on our business building bonuses. And those are from your ambassadors on your level 1 or level 1 through 7, which it says down there, we get paid 7 levels down. The full compression helps to maximize your earnings. That I don't know that I'll cover it if you have questions. That just has to do with if your people under you maybe become non-existent, and that brings up maybe your level 2 to a level 1, things like that. And offers opportunities, the ambassador, the opportunity to earn income on a worldwide sales of the company. Sorry, my screen was blocked. So one of the most basic concepts is how to be a qualified ambassador. Here, you're going to need to have your $34.95 paid and current each year. And honestly, you hear it said so many times, how many places can you start a business for $35 a year? I started my own horseback riding business, and I can't even tell you the thousands of dollars I put into that. And it didn't really, I mean, it pays well, but it doesn't pay near this well. So you have to have at least 100 in personal volume. You see that's PV is referred to, excluding the welcome pack sales through the monthly cycle and date. The PV is defined as the volume received from commissional products that your customers purchase. There's really no like number dollar like to PV that I know of that would be easy to explain it, but that is why I included this little chart here for you. So you can kind of look and see the differences in each product and how the PV comes up and how that even is retail preferred and ambassador pricing. And then the bonus as well. That's for the preferred customer bonus over there on the right side. So there's just a little bit of a helpful tip there. All these, obviously all these slides I have, if you want any of them, let me know, I can give them to you. But truthfully, I really just went to Google Images and searched for something, or I searched in probably in Team I Can Horse, and that's where I found all of these images. A basic ambassador is one that's just signed up as an ambassador, paid their $34.95, and has at least 100 in PV, excluding, again, the welcome pack PV. And as a qualified ambassador, you are eligible to earn pay points on your level 1. So that's any level of any personally sponsored ambassador beneath you. A senior ambassador has an annual membership paid of $34.95, again, 100 PV, and has at least 2 personally sponsored ambassadors that are qualified. There again, qualified would be back to where that first slide that explained you have to have the updated membership and the PV of 100. Or the welcome pack in the month of that they signed up. As a senior ambassador, you are eligible to earn pay points through your pay levels 1 to 3. And then we build on that. And the silver ambassador, the same first 2 things, your $34.95 and the 100 PV. And then you also have at least 3 personally sponsored qualified ambassadors. And then that's when that silver ambassador can be paid on the levels 1 through 5. And this little chart came out right around Super Saturday. They shared that with us. This one I found, it was kind of helpful in learning. It's a little blurry because it's so big, but in kind of understanding the differences between each rank and what's required of each rank. So on the left side, there is over here, there's all of the different requirements or the things you get from each rank. And then at the bottom, there's a little pay point chart explaining how many levels, what your levels are and what pay points you get for those. I'm not going to cover all the ranks. This was the last one I stopped at, I think, because you just keep going and, there's more there, which you can see back here. Here's all your emeralds, sapphire, diamond, and then your ruby, senior gold. So the gold ambassador is, again, the same thing, $34.95, has 100 PV. At least 3 personally sponsored qualified ambassadors, and you have 100 points total in your organization, with 15 of those points being outside your primary leg. So I'm going to use Kurt and I as an example. When I went to gold, or got to gold, I had to have 100 points, and that equals out to, if I have level 1 to 3 at 5 points in ambassador, that equals 20 ambassadors. So let's just say I had 100 points, but 90 of them were actually in Kurt's leg. Kurt's my husband, who's under me as an ambassador as well. So if 90 of those were actually under his leg, I would not be able to promote to a gold ambassador, because all of those would be under his leg, if that makes sense. Now, technically, he's not supposed to be an ambassador before I'm gold ambassador as well. So just keep that in mind if you think that one day you want to sign your spouse up as an ambassador. It's a great idea, actually. But in order to kind of work the compensation plan in your favor, you'll want to wait for sure till you're at least a gold ambassador, possibly even a senior gold. Wouldn't be a bad idea either. I just plug that in there again, because I feel like every time we talk about something, there might be another thing maybe you just want to kind of briefly glance at as we go through. And I actually did this a couple of times throughout the PowerPoint and just use the chart again, because I think, like I said, for me, it's helpful to have a visual against what I'm talking about. And then this is just a little blurb about the refunds and returns. And we all know that everyone, customer ambassador, has a 60-day return. And it does say something there about how if your products, a customer's products are returned within that month, it could be maybe debited from the respective upline ambassador account or withheld from the present or future commissions. Maybe you guys write that down for me. I don't know that I've ever actually seen that happen. I don't know if any of you who've been in this longer have seen that happen. So if you have a return from a customer, have you actually gotten that money taken back from you? Kim, I don't know if that's ever happened to you or not, but I don't recall that ever happening. And not that I want to say I have a boatload of returns, but I've had a handful, and I don't think that's ever happened. So anyway, moving on to the 11 ways that we earn from the compensation plan. The first one being our retail rewards commission. So if you have a total of 100 to 499, you get paid 15% of that personal volume. And then once you hit the 500, you get 25%. I think the next slide is actually a little more numbers. Yes. Although I don't want to read all that, and I don't want to go through it all, but gives you a visual that you can look through. And I think we should be recording this. You can look through it again on your own, and I can send you these slides. But basically on this concept of what I like to just say here is, let's just use 500 PV for an example. If I hit 500 PV, I get paid for 400 of that PV. That's $25 for every $100. So I have $100 just for that 500. I'm right? No. Yeah, that's right. Like questioning my brain. I do that a lot. So that's $100 just for having what usually is typically right around 3 customers ordering and yourself. So usually with 3 customers and yourself, you're really close to that 500 mark. The next one is the retail rewards override commission. That is if you are branching out and you're finally adding ambassadors to your team, and let's say they accumulate some PV over that 100, you will get paid 5% of that. So let's say you have a really big dream teamer under you who's doing really awesome, rocking her business, and she's 1,000 PV. You would actually get $50 from that 1,000 PV. No, sorry, I lied. It's probably 45, because they take away that first 100. So it's off of the 900 PV. Just an example down there at the bottom, that's a big one. That's an awesome ambassador who has a 2,500 PV in 1 month. So I want a bunch of those on my team, by the way. So anyway, I just pushed a button by accident. You would earn 5% of that 2,500 over the 100 PV. So 5% of 2,400 is $120. So that's just an extra bonus for you having an awesome team member who loves their job and loves their products and keeps sharing it. So here is where, this is the other compensation plan. You'll find this one in the back office, that when we talk about what I just talked about, the retail, I'm trying to find it, sorry. Down here is the retail rewards commission when it's showing you the 0 to 100 and 100 to 499. and your different pay levels. And then over here is the 5% that we're talking about just last slide. The preferred customer bonus, that one just really gets me excited because I don't even like retail customers because like they're just no fun. They're not very adventurous, and I'm pretty adventurous, so maybe that's why I like the preferred customers better. But anyway, I actually just watched a video where she was like, I don't even tell people it's an option, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty bold and it's pretty cool. So I might just take her advice on that. I keep pushing a button and I'm not supposed to do that. So the preferred customer bonus, as you guys may know already, is that when you have, and I'm going to go back here, when you have a preferred customer sign up and order, I always just throw out the triplex as the best example because we all love triplex and it's amazing. And we try to just try to encourage most of our customers to at least start there. And it's right there, $20 for every triplex customer. So on top of the 15% or the 25%, I get another $20 bonus. So I don't know how about you guys, but how many other companies that if I sell products to one of my friends would basically almost get me a $50 bonus for them being a customer on a monthly basis. That's enough to get me excited. So there we go. And there's a chart of just everything on the preferred bonus chart products, what you would get. So almost every bottle of something, being BioCleanse, ProBio 5, Block, Boost, Accelerator, Edge, all of those are going to be about $5. The only one that's like $4 is the smaller bottle of BioCleanse. So that just gives you an idea what you would get on those preferred customer pricings bonuses. Then you have the one-time achievement bonus. So if you were to add 3 ambassadors to your team, you would get that $100 bonus one time. And with that bonus, and with those to count, your ambassadors, your new ambassadors in that current month either have to have that welcome pack ordered, or they have to have 100 PV outside of, obviously if they didn't order a welcome pack, which I hope you don't do that. But if they didn't, they would have to have 100 PV outside of having the welcome pack. One or the other, or both really is good too. But and then each promotion, then you add a little bit more of a generous bonus. And I mean, like, that's just great. I mean, I can't say that I get promoted and got a $250 raise from anybody in my life for just doing my job. And of course, they just keep getting bigger. And then we have the fast start bonus, achievement bonus, which is doable, I see. It's pretty awesome if you can do it. And if you have a team member to do it, like, that's really awesome too. So if you were to promote to one of these levels in 30 days, so a gold ambassador again would have 20 ambassadors under them in 30 days, you would not only get the $300, $50 one-time achievement bonus, you'd also get, I'm saying that right, the $350 again. Sorry. Why does that not look right? Help me out, Kim. It says 250 there and 350 there.
Okay, the bonus is double. So you would get, instead of $100 for the silver ambassador, you would get $200.
Right.
And instead of $250, you would get $500 on the gold. So you would actually get a $700 bonus.
Yeah, well, these numbers are off then. Or something's weird. I don't know. Okay, don't look at my numbers here, but I took those from the back office, so it's confusing. But that's what I was thinking. It's a $500 bonus if you would get your promotion to gold.
Christina, is that correct?
Yes, Kim, the way that you explained it's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I can't believe I missed that in here. That's weird that I'll have to look at that again. Sorry, I keep jumping again. Okay, so back to business building bonuses. When you add an ambassador, and these are really exciting when you get farther along and you have team members adding new team members. And lately they've been coming through on Wednesdays, but you get emails that say, oh, you got $12.50 or you got $50 or you got, it's really just, it's enough to keep me motivated, and it's just really exciting. So even if you're a brand new ambassador and you're not getting these weekly, I didn't get them weekly for a very long time. But when you do get someone to sign up, it's so important, and you'll see this, to get them ordering their products, get them their welcome packs, because you don't want them to miss out on, number one, this is an incredible deal. Number two, you want them to get their products. You want them to get that box of really great information, because I'll tell you guys, when I started 3 years ago, I didn't get any of that cool stuff. We got a little book, like, I don't even remember what was in it, but it was just a little booklet about like Plexus sort of, and some of the business stuff. But the stuff they give you now, so helpful to get your business going and to get your downlines business going. So those are just the numbers. Again, if you would have a team member sign up, and let's say they go big and they order a $199 welcome package, which is right here. If I did that and I had my level 1 sign up and she ordered $199, I would get $50, $49.75 payment next week. And then the people above me would continue to get those numbers right there on your screen. So yeah, they're just a really great way to keep building your business and to add a little extra income. And that's how those 5 paychecks come in a month. And I think it was Christina last month, she had one, a post she had done about getting those, that we got the paycheck for the 15th, and then she got that business building bonus all in the same, or the same day even. And I remember that, and I was like, wow, this is so great, just to know that I can stay home with my babies and not be out of the house all the time and doing what I do, and being able to just be here and not stress about everything. Okay, so back to the compensation plan. The Plexus points, this is where it gets really exciting. And as you see your team building this, it gets really, really super exciting. I can't even say how excited it can get. If you know me by now, you know that I get excited about some little things. But as you see here, you get paid, and this explains what levels you get paid on. So we talked about that earlier on. As just an ambassador, you get paid on your first level. A senior ambassador, that's with 2 level 1s personally sponsored, you get paid levels 1 to 3, and so on down the line. And then down at the bottom here, it talks about how much do you get. And earlier I had also mentioned, for each personally sponsored ambassador, I get, I don't know if I did mention, but you get 5 pay points for each ambassador. I mentioned when we talked about gold, and if you would have all of those 20 ambassadors, levels 1 through 3, you would get your 100 points. And that's how it adds up quickly. The value of the Plexus pay point, you'll see this worded differently in different places. This is what the back office says, and guaranteed it's just because they have to tell you what the minimum is, because they don't want to get people think, they don't want to be misleading. And they tell us that the pay point will never go below $1.80. Usually, from what Melissa always says, is the pay points are generally closer to $3. That's a big difference, guys. So keep that in mind when we do the math here. That, I think that's the next screen here. When we do the math and we talk about when we get, how we keep accumulating these points. So this is I did it again. The ideal situation. I wanted to move everybody's faces here so I could see my numbers. This is the ideal situation. If your level 1 adds 3, this is you adding 3 ambassadors, you get 5 points for each of them. You have accumulated 15 points by the end of the month. And again, ideally, your level 2s then come on and you get 9 of those, because your 3 added 3. You'll see that everyone talks about the whole add 3 thing every month, and it's definitely the way to kind of give yourself some goals to meet. And as your team keeps adding 3, each person keeps adding 3. This is that I call it the domino effect, chain reaction to the 3 adding 3. Then eventually you come down here to where you're at 4,893 points. And at the minimum $1.80, that equals $8,000, almost $9,000 in a month. So if we actually increase that to almost $3, do the math, it's a lot of money. So it's a lot of money, and it's really worth getting excited about. Again, I get excited. So there again, just bringing back the chart a little bit to kind of show you what we talked about. We covered the pay points. And so here, right here on this little row here, the column explains how many pay points you need to get each promotion ranking that you want to get to. And then I mentioned earlier that the legs, what you need outside your primary leg. So as you're building your team, and this is where I was saying earlier, you need to be strategic in how, sorry, I'm terrible at this, in how you get and add your team. So if you have a really strong leg in your spouse, for like me, I want to make sure I'm building my team outside of my strong leg because that's really important. And here again, what levels you get paid on are right here. And I don't think I threw in, actually this is in the end, but the emerald pool, sapphire pool, and the diamond pool, those are also some apparently really amazing amounts of money that I'll experience one day. And down here, again, your pay points earned by levels. So we just talked about that in the last screen as well. And so I think I covered all of it. I think so. The only other one I think I may have missed here too was the personally sponsored qualified ambassadors right here in that column. And actually, Christina shared that last week when she said you just click on the little thing in your one dashboard box, and it shows you, how many you have, and actually that was something I learned. I never done that before last week, so I was like, that was pretty cool. All right, and then lastly, the last couple of things that we'll tag on here. All of us have this in our dreams to be an emerald one day, and it's definitely attainable. And that's what I want you to leave here, like knowing that this is very attainable. Because if you would have asked me 3 years ago if I would have been doing anything like this, I would have said no. If you would have asked me a year ago if I would have been sitting here telling you this, I probably would have said no. So I want you to know that this is so absolutely 100%, probably like 500% attainable for every single one of you. But the emerald pool and the sapphire pool and the diamond pool bonuses, they take up 3% of the company's commissionable volume and divide it equally among the jewels, basically. And same thing with the sapphire is 1%, and then the diamond is 1%. And then the other perk there is that you get to re-enter when you attain diamond. You get to re-enter under yourself and become whatever else you want to become again. So you basically get to earn what you did a second time. So it's kind of like my husband also. He, everything he does, he gets paid for, but everything he does, he gets paid for and I get paid for. So if I get to enter under myself again, I'll get to enter under myself and earn twice what I do and what he earns. So it's like really, really, really cool. Lastly then would be the Lexus program. And again, like I keep saying this, I'm like, the day I get to drive my Lexus to church, like is going to be the day I might like celebrate like big time. Not even just church. I don't know. I think I say that because a lot of my church friends are very skeptical. But anyway, the day I drive my Lexus off the parking lot, I'm going to like seriously celebrate. I'm going to fly you all from Texas so you can join me too on the day I drive my, I shouldn't say that, that'll cost me a lot, but you have to come visit me the day I get my Lexus. So yes. And as an Emerald Ambassador, you get the $500 to pay for that one Lexus. And then Diamond Ambassador, they give you $1,000 for 2 Lexuses. That's kind of a crazy word. Yeah, so you can read about that there. And I think that is the end. So we can go ahead. I'm going to unscreen share here. And if you guys have questions, please ask away. Unmute yourself. Hi, everyone. I can't see you now. I was looking at my screen the whole time. So.
Hey, Michelle, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So with becoming an ambassador and everything, you pay, like your $34.95. But if you don't get your 100 PV for the month, like what does that mean? I mean, obviously you don't make anything, but does that like change anything?
Actually, it means almost nothing to you. If anything, it affects me. But I'm not going to cry over it that you don't have 100 PV this month because I know you have the belief, and I'm not just talking about you directly. I'm talking about everybody. There may have been a day that cried, but not anymore. I'm like, it's okay. Because I know those people that believe in it. And I just know that some people have rough months and some people just have too much products. I can't say that ever happens to us because we just love our products that much, but we don't forget to take them. But some people do, and that's okay. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things, honestly, that I tell people when I'm sharing the opportunity at Plexus, that there is literally outside of paying $35 a year, there is no commitment, no quota, no obligations whatsoever to this company. And it's like people come in and they're like, there's got to be catch somewhere. There's really not. And so that like is one of the biggest things that I try to encourage people who might just be looking for a little extra money a month, and just say, you know what, you don't even have to buy products if you don't want to. And like there's this whole backup order thing. I've had mine on ever since I became an ambassador, and honestly, I think it shipped to me one time by accident because I changed the date to like the 5th or the 8th, and I didn't have my 100 PV by then. And it was just because it was a slip up on my part. But otherwise, like I've never actually had my backup order shipped because I generally order myself. So that's just kind of an example. Like in that case, if I didn't want products, I wouldn't have had to, because I always have had that customer to keep that 100 PV.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure because I mean, this is going to be like my second month in basically. And my first month I was able to actually make something off of Plexus. So it's pretty amazing. But I wasn't sure because like I said, whenever I signed up, Lindsay, was telling me, oh, there's nothing that you need to worry about, no monthly quota, nothing like that. And then once I signed up, I heard about the 100 PV for every month. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now that kind of confuses me, but okay, that makes sense.
All that 100 does is make you commission qualified for yourself. And like I said, for the people above you, then we get our pay points basically. So if you aren't qualified, we just don't get paid for your pay points that month. And again, none of us are crying over it. We love you.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? All right. If no one has any questions, we can. Well, how did I do? What time is it? Ooh, like almost a half hour. That was pretty impressive. All right.